Welcome back to Talk Tuah. We're your hosts, Cam George
and Peter Ditzler.
And guys, we have a lot to unpack on this episode. So welcome back, strap in, and spit on that thing.
We are back to talking about Talk Tuah with Haliey Welch. She has talked about it extensively in this episode. She kind of backtracked a bit from her original statement in episode 1 about trying to distance herself from that catchphrase. But this time she delves into her origin story, unafraid of confronting the past.
And Pete, that's the thing. So at the end of last episode, we were telling our fans, our listeners, saying, guys, let's be respectful. Let's keep this community safe. I don't want anyone saying spit on that thing. No references to that. But she was saying, I've moved past that. Guess what? We've gone full circle, and I like it. I like this direction.
Yeah. No, she's happy with where she is.
I like it a lot.
She's happy with what that catchphrase has grown for her, developed for her.
It's a trademark.
Yeah, and so I think she is perfectly comfortable with you cracking jokes about
spit on that thing.
Mine was kind of clumsy.
Now, this was super experimental, this episode, because I think this was Jake Paul flexing his vlog muscles here.
Yeah.
She's on his network.
Yeah.
The thing is, so the first episode, they shot it in the studio in, I presume, Beverly Hills.
Totally traditional podcast setup in a studio in Beverly Hills.
With some experimental features, though, you have to keep in mind, they had a moving camera, dogs in the studio. They had a whole cast ensemble.
That's right. And we covered all of this in episode 1 of Talk Tuah. Please sure to check that out.
Absolutely. But then the second ep is a vlog.
Filmed on a front stoop
or
a porch.
Vlog.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say it's a podcast because I'm not sure what they were thinking for people just listening to this.
Yeah. This was definitely a video priority episode.
You need the video.
Yeah, I would say it was kind of a must. Towards the end, Haliey travels all throughout her hometown, just checking out the famous locales. But this episode definitely, prioritized video, because for audio listeners, there was some audio mix-ups. They weren't even and none of the hosts were holding mics the entire episode.
I presume they probably got some freelance boom op, right to work state, non-union sound guy shows up, $250 a day easy.
Plenty of them in Tennessee, probably coming over the border from Nashville. And now they're filming on the front porch. Mics.
Who's filming?
I don't know, these non-union right to work guys.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying we have Haliey in her own standalone seat.
Yes.
And then do you want to give us the breakdown of who else was there?
Yeah, joining Haliey this episode are 3 of her friends. We have, of course, Chelsea, a returning guest from episode 1. And we have Alyssa and Carly, 2 other of Haliey's good longtime friends. 3 of them are seated on the other bench, and then there's a mystery guest. Although not much of a mystery because her name and identity are revealed in the title, of course, but Granny.
Yeah.
Haliey Welch's Granny joins us for this episode about halfway through. It's pretty unprofessional of her. She shows up a bit late to set, is not willing to even sit down for a full conversation, but it's really quite a revelation to finally meet the mother of Haliey's mother.
Yeah,
or is she the mother of Haliey's father?
I'll say that she clammed up in front of the cameras. I think Haliey really was like, my granny said this, my granny said that.
Yeah, she was quite the foil to Haliey's just natural charm and ability to just, keep things lively on camera.
Well, she's quite the foil to Talk Tuah.
Yeah.
Because Granny, so when Haliey basically explained that she told her Grammy about Talk Tuah and all this stuff.
I think Granny.
Grammy?
I think Granny with N, I believe. Let me check my notes.
Can you double check that? I'm thinking of Grammy Grandma.
Yeah, no, it's Granny, like Grandma.
Granny. Okay, so she was explaining it to her, and I think Granny was having a hard time understanding what the Talk Tuah thing was. Yeah. And then Haliey finally was like, spit on that thing. Yeah. And then so Granny then said, oh, Talk Tuah.
Yeah, that was a funny moment in which Granny just mispronounces the catchphrase that made Haliey famous.
But do you think Talk Tuah is a different...
I think that's its own beast. Yeah.
A Talk Tuah?
Yeah, I think that's a different kind of spitting, a different kind of philadiatic manner in which you can suck a wiener.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Talk Tuah is it's like, boom.
It's like direct.
The Tui, it's like
It's more of a meandering kind of ride.
I think it's a little more kind of like edging them, gooning them, Hawk Tui.
I could see that. Yeah.
A little tickling on the nuts / balls.
Yeah. More of just a workaround kind of situation.
Yeah.
But
Not to get too graphic.
yeah,
here.
not to put off any of our listeners. But of course, Granny comes from a different time in which Hawk Tuies might have been more prevalent.
Granny was married at 17.
That's right. That was quite a fact. What were you doing at 17, Kim? Were we in AP English together?
Yeah, for the listeners, we went to high school together. We actually met middle school collecting leaves with our moms.
Neither of us were married, right?
No, and marriage to me is something I wouldn't even consider until my late 30s, probably early 40s.
Then Granny's right on board with you. She said for anyone else, she wouldn't recommend getting married until 37.
Oh, I missed that.
No, you're right on the money
Okay.
there. So I think you and Granny might actually have a lot in common here.
I don't know how much vlogging Granny has done in the past, but she definitely seemed very, I want to say a little wooden here.
Yeah. She was stiff as a board.
Yeah.
She was definitely like trying to distract herself by petting Ellie, Haley's dog.
So structurally, Granny comes in, wasn't a boom for me, a little bit more of a bust.
Yeah. Not quite the payoff that I was hoping for about halfway through the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she steals the title and the thumbnail, but then just doesn't really deliver in the full video.
No, but it is nice seeing where Haliey comes from.
Yeah, of course. So Granny was actually in the room when Haliey had to spill the beans to her father, her daddy, about her big viral moment. And, that would be an awkward conversation for anyone. And Granny was there, kind of the peanut gallery in the room. And she's just kind of, Haliey described her as just kind of sitting, smiling, kind of goading her on. And it's just kind of funny. So Granny is a big part of Haley's life. And Haley's father, daddy, was definitely, he was hesitant in accepting it at first, but I think he found humor in the moment and the cause of her virality.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, Haliey, I think, taps a little more into the raunchy kind of comedy. She gets a little dirty here. I think she's not afraid to punch hard with a joke. I've said this before. She's not packing any punches.
No.
Not pulling any punches.
No, of course.
Is what I meant to say. So, for example, at one point in this episode, this is my favorite part.
Yeah.
She talks about her fat cooter.
Yeah. This was a highlight moment.
She even goes as far as to name it.
Yeah.
She names her fat cooter.
Yeah.
What?
Big Martha.
Yeah.
Big Martha is her name for her fat cooter. I don't know the BMI of her cooter, but presumably it's fat. She identifies it herself as fat.
I think any OGBYN would tell you that having a cooter more wide than it is long,
definitionally is probably fat.
is chubby, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's remarkable how she's able to joke about that. And her friends were like, oh, she even tried to name our cooters. I forget what she...
Oh, Doug. Doug was the one that she tried to name Chelsea's cooter.
I can't imagine what a cooter named Doug would look like.
No. And they didn't say it was fat or anything, so Doug could be a bit of a wimpy cooter.
But the thing is, I do feel like there was a little bit of resistance on her friend's side to kind of enter that realm of riffing, that realm of kind of conversation, which Haliey was very comfortable conversing in. I almost felt like Whitney needed to come back for this app.
That's fair. I mean, Haliey is just a natural at this. I mean, she's creating nomenclature for her cooter. She's just able to riff about any kind of sexual misdeeds or just...
I mean, are you going to sit here and tell me you have a fat cock?
Definitionally, I don't know if I would say it's fat. Because fat implies like pretty large girth, right? Considerable girth.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before, but do you think you're more of a dick ball? Sorry, do you think you're more of a dick, penis, cock, or wiener guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty solidly a dick guy.
Yeah.
Now, you fall in the same boat?
I'd probably go wiener.
Wiener, okay.
Maybe.
It's a bit more vintage, I feel like.
Schlong.
Yeah.
No, not a schlong.
Not schlong. Schlong's like just too out there. Schlong you really have to be a specific build for.
Schlong, dudes with schlongs go to nude beaches.
Yeah. They're more provincial.
I've seen, They're more territorial.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, okay, so Haliey is going to go, I think, where people are afraid to go. And keep in mind, it's her show.
That's right. And I mean, the other thing is her friends were kind of like riffing on, or just ragging on her for having a shirt tussie in a promo picture for the interview show that she was on.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, there was just an unfortunate angle of her that was taken in a photo and posted online without her even knowing, and it looked like she had a shirt tussie.
Which, in other words, I think is just a camel toe.
Yeah, it's when like your shirt drapes into your cooter and like just looks like a cooter of its own.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, I've definitely had my fair share of photos that have looked a little unpleasant.
We've had photos where we're at like lakes together and we looked a bit larger than life.
The camera puts on 20 pounds, they say.
That's right. And sometimes it's just not accurate. So who knows what Haliey's shirt was actually doing in the moment on the streets of Nashville. But they actually talk quite extensively about that night, the night in Nashville where Haliey was approached by this interviewer and, really said the moment that sparked the world on fire.
Now, the interesting thing here is I almost feel like it's a little in the editing process. Keep in mind, in the first episode, Haliey said, "Welcome back."
Yeah.
Implying this was recorded out of order. And then this one felt like it was more supposed to be the intro.
You think this should have been episode 1? This was the pilot.
This is actually what I think happened, because this felt more like a pilot material, because I doubt they're going to go back and revisit the vlog style of
Yeah. This was like a get to know her as a character, as your host.
I almost think what happened was they recorded this down near Nashville, and then they booked Whitney.
Yeah.
Whitney had him bump it.
Yeah.
I think with star power like that, they wanted to push it.
Yeah. Did you notice that Carly was wearing an LA hat? Do you think that was a bit of foreshadowing? She's wearing a Dodgers hat.
Almost this is to say maybe they didn't film it out of sequence.
Well, maybe they did film it out of sequence, but she was like, here, Haliey's heading to the West Coast, the big star of the West.
That could be it.
And then they just happen to flip the episodes around in post. Either way, I mean, I think it was important to get a glimpse of Haliey's past and her present and her future here.
Did we learn anything new about that night?
We learned that they were at the CMA Fest, I believe, which I think, looking at it, it's the Country Music Awards Festival. Mm-hmm. In Nashville, it's a big hullabaloo, big party. Everyone's out in the streets, really just having a good time.
Yeah.
Haliey revealed that she'd had quite a few slushies earlier in the day.
Alcoholic.
I believe so. Yeah.
So it was definitely Harley that night that said Talk Tuah. We've talked about this before. I think we can confidently
deduce that Harley was on the streets that night of Nashville.
Sure. Not Haliey.
No, but they work side by side.
And if you don't know, Harley is Haliey's doppelganger when she drinks dark liquor. It's her alter ego.
Yeah.
She's the type of girl that's probably going to fight a grizzly.
Yeah.
That's how I'd describe her.
Yeah. So she's on the streets of CMA. It's just with Chelsea. Alyssa and Carly, nowhere to be seen. They're off doing their own thing.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. Who are her real friends?
Yeah.
Like Chelsea's always there by your side, clearly.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Even though I think there was a little bit of strife between them in the last step, which was just being stoked by Jamie, their manager.
That's I think spot on.
But the detail that kind of pinched me here was that they said they saw two guys filming. One of them had a camera. The other guy had a flashlight.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of home video production studio they got going on there.
Well, I'm just like, okay, so I don't know if maybe they were just missaying. Maybe he had some studio lights.
Yeah. Did he have like D batteries in a tube? Like what kind of flashlight? Like
was it really that low level of an operation?
Yeah.
Or was this more of a put together set that they stumbled upon?
Yeah.
Because I think this could be a good segue into how pre-planned, if it was pre-planned, was that night.
Look, Haliey has said repeatedly that she had no idea what was about to happen.
I think there's some people out there that maybe think it was all scripted.
Look, I mean, there's a conspiracy theory that gets talked about in this episode. I hate spreading conspiracy theories, but it's I guess worth delving into the fact that there was a tweet going around. I think it had about 7,000 likes, which is pretty considerable. Alleging that Haliey was an Israeli soldier whose father works for some big cause,
Yeah.
and wiped Haley's presence from the internet, from everything before this interview, and she's just some plant trying to spread Israeli ideas, something like that.
Basically saying that the Talk Tuah thing is a character in that she doesn't have whoever this real Haliey is doesn't have a Southern accent.
Yeah, they're saying she doesn't even know English.
And I think Haliey had the best response to it. Yeah. She kind of played along in the beginning, saying like, "How'd you catch me? Oh, you guys are good. You're on to me." And then I think she really kind of threw it out and said, "This isn't even worth my time here." Because, I mean, come on.
Yeah. And she really puts the nail in the coffin by saying, where do people even find the time to like talk about this stuff or think of this stuff?
Yeah, and I think it was kind of a diss to permanently online culture.
Yeah. She's saying, take a step back, enjoy the life that you're given.
Just sitting outside.
Yeah.
Saying that.
Feel the breeze between your toes. Just really have fun talking to friends, seeing Granny, visiting your hometown, the place that raised you.
Yeah. And, I don't think she was really condescending or mean about it. I think just pretty, straightforward, just said, look, this isn't even worth my time.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous. I know this is ridiculous.
Yeah. You don't want to give conspiracy theories any oxygen to breathe.
No.
You just got to let that die out on its own and just shrug it off. It's not important. It's nonsense.
So Haliey shut down that conspiracy. What were some other highlights in the app for you?
For me, I think there's a moment where Haliey talks about 5-starring a guy.
Oh, yeah.
A guy who spilled Dr. Pepper on her.
She basically Will Smith this guy.
Yeah.
Like he was Chris Rock.
And
said her wife's name.
Yeah. And by 5-star, I imagine she means like the 5 fingertips.
Yeah.
She makes sure they're all primed, and she just gives this guy what he needs.
Yeah. Well, I think she was more honest and just said, look, I kind of am a reactionary. She said, look, sometimes my emotions can get the best of me. You react. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. You're a human, not a robot.
Yeah.
How many podcast hosts would admit something like that?
Not many. I mean, many like to hide behind their screens, their personas. They don't want to show their real selves. And I think that's what makes Haliey such a breath of fresh air in this industry.
Yeah. Well, I think it also is interesting, too, because we're slowly seeing this character unravel of who she really is.
Yeah.
And the theme I really like, again, is the animals. There's a dog in this.
Yeah.
At the end of the ep, she's petting her horse, giving it an apple.
Yeah.
And, I think her foundation with the dogs is a really cool thing to put money into.
Yeah. She's clearly very, animal-centered, cares about well-being of the animals around her, animals in the world. Mm-hmm. And I think that's an amazing cause.
How many podcast hosts out there are giving back like that? Especially to animals, where I feel like, dude, I see people sometimes patting dogs where they can slap big dogs on the side. That always rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah. It's like, what? You think this thing's a barn animal?
Yeah, I just feel like there's a big disconnect with people and animals. And,
yeah.
People that have pets, I don't know. I'm watching the way that Haliey treats her dogs, and you can really see the sincerity there.
Yeah. What about the way Granny was treating Ellie, the dog? Because Granny rolls up in her, I don't know, was it a Buick?
Yeah.
She rolls up, and then she's just standing by the side of the porch just patting Ellie for probably 15 minutes worth of runtime.
It's like giving an actor
something to hold.
A busy thing to do.
Keeps the scene interesting.
Keep in mind, she's not a trained actor.
That's true.
Now, I don't want to be too hard on Granny either. I think her showing up, hopping in front of the cameras, that can be tough, especially when you're from a generation where that's not the norm. People aren't just filming on TikTok, YouTube Shorts back in the day.
No. You don't have cameras literally everywhere you went filming you when you're putting your groceries in the wrong car.
You don't have guys with flashlights outside bars in Nashville.
Yeah.
Asking you about sex paraphernalia and whatnot.
Yeah, no, she comes from a simpler time. And I think Also, I think that Granny's values are definitely the ones that Haliey was raised with, because
Yeah.
Haliey also shares what I think we both really agreed with her on, is the fact that somebody needs to get their ass beat sometimes. Like, there's plenty of people out there who need to get their asses beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Haliey made a good point about that, just saying that you hand them their ass and then you move on.
Yeah, like it's just like a matter of fact thing where sometimes people like don't know better and they just need to have their asses beat to really learn how the world works, how you should behave in the world. And I think, yeah, I think that it was an important takeaway moment.
Now, you know who I think really needs to get their ass handed to them?
Who?
Spirit Halloween.
Really?
And they broke it down in the app.
Okay.
The Spirit Halloween, if you haven't seen it, they released Hawk Tuah costumes.
Yeah, it was a Spirit Halloween and Haley Welch collab.
So it was officially licensed merch. I feel
Okay,
like
maybe
it's still
not.
a little muddy there.
Yeah. I mean, I saw it announced as a collab. I don't think Haley really.
I think she was a little bit kind of critiquing even the outfits.
Yeah, I think she thought it was low-hanging fruit.
Because what
that
are
her
they?
brand is above this.
It's a shirt that says Hawk Tuah.
Yeah.
It's a flag here. We got this. This was arguably the coolest thing.
Yeah.
They had
the coolest drop in the collab.
Definitely. They had a gray jumpsuit
Yeah.
that just said Hawk Tuah repair for guys or something.
Yeah, and I don't know what a jumpsuit has to do with that, because, I mean, Haley was wearing a shirt that gave her a shirt tussie that night.
Yeah.
Like, clearly not wearing a jumpsuit.
Yeah, that's got to be the outfit, just more of a shirt tussie.
Yeah, that should have been the costume. Spirit Halloween, I think next year maybe you have a better chance at doing this right. And I hope you'll take these notes into consideration.
Yeah. But, you know, we went back and forth with her friends this ep too. That was a little interesting. I'm always more intrigued about Haliey. I'm eager to see if she's going to make the jump to doing some solo eps.
Yeah. Did you catch the moment where they ask Alyssa and Haliey how long they've been friends for? How long they've been best friends.
Yeah.
And Haliey immediately says since 3rd grade.
Yep.
And then Alyssa kind of undercuts that. She says 3rd or 4th grade.
3rd or 4th.
Yeah.
Now, I almost read that as a little snarky.
Yeah, I think I took that as a slight to Haliey.
Because she's almost as if saying, hey, Haliey has known her since they were in 3rd grade, but she's saying, oh, I didn't consider us friends until we were in 4th grade.
Yeah, like you were dirt to me for like a full school year.
Why did she have to say that? Why, even if that were true,
Yeah.
even if it were 4th grade,
Yeah.
come on, Haliey was drinking a bottle of wine this ep right out of the bottle.
Yeah.
Maybe her facts weren't as straight as they could have been, but I think to throw her under the bus like that was a little uncalled for.
Yeah, it was just it was like a gut reaction for Alyssa to do that. She jumped on the opportunity to just kind of sow some distrust between Haliey and her viewers.
Reminiscent of Jamie from
Yeah.
episode 1, their manager.
Yeah, I do think Haliey should be careful about who she surrounds herself with. So far, it's been disappointing between episodes 1 and 2, just having these kinds of like critics just in the same room, just so ready to nitpick everything that Haliey says.
And I think that is one of the hardest parts about blowing up so young.
Yeah.
When you haven't had as many experiences in the world, that the fame thing is really what people are drawn to rather than the light of your personality. Not saying that Haliey doesn't have that.
Of course not. Of course not.
But I think right now she's so big, so hot, that people are kind of just drawn in to that Hawk Tuah fame. Can I get some? Because think about it.
Yeah.
We live in a celebrity culture.
Yeah, we do.
We live in a culture that believes in magic. Celebrity, I think...
Sex, magic, and drugs.
Sex, magic, and drugs. I think consumerism has kind of hijacked religion.
Okay.
And celebrities play right into that. I'm sorry to even say this, but it's true.
For Haliey, too?
What was she promoting the whole ep? Better.
Better.
She has sponsors. She's trying to sell you something.
Is it a wellness thing? Better?
I think it's like a sports betting thing, but...
That's what she says, but I feel like there's some like wellness element too. Because it's called Better. I assume it's like you want to
And there could...
be better, live better.
There could, but I do think we're still in a period right now where it's the cult of the personality.
Yeah.
And anything you can get to get yourself closer to that celebrity. So maybe like knowing someone that knows them, having a trinket that they have. In all these Hollywood museums, it's like, oh, James Dean's belly button lamp.
Yeah.
You know?
Saying like I'm 17 degrees from Kevin Bacon. It's like, shut up.
Because they
want
want to transfer that celebrity magic to you.
Yeah, they think it's just kind of something that gets passed down. It's a bit of like an inheritance just by being in the same
And I'm worried.
energy and space of these.
I'm worried though. I'm worried because I think we're maybe seeing that with some of Haley's friends.
Yeah, they're
That
just jumping on the bandwagon.
They like that magic. I mean, but look, with all that being said, I think she's so far pretty responsible with the brand. And even I will say the editing of the ad read, I think spells out that she's like, I don't want to play into this.
Yeah.
Did you catch that? How fast it cut?
Yeah, she seemed hesitant to be doing that.
Yeah.
She said,
Yep.
Look, this ad, this is clearly people trying to get closer to me, leech off of what I've got going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, you could see that there's a bit of hesitation.
Well, and you see the hesitation because it was like every other sentence they cut.
Yeah.
They cut every sentence. And it's because she didn't want to memorize the whole script. She's like, just give me the line and I'll read it back.
It's like an act of resistance.
Yes.
Yeah. Like a bit of a rebellion going on.
I think so.
Yeah. I think she just is like, guys, I'm above this. I don't know. You have to treat me better.
Now, that's fucking star power, though.
Yeah.
To tell the producers and the whole team and even maybe Jake Paul to his face,
Yeah.
I'm not reading all that. You tell me what you want me to say and I'll say it.
She goes like, off.
Yes.
She says, look, I'm doing a podcast. Stop interrupting my flow to just shove a camera in my face and have me read some sentences. I'm going to treat you with as little respect as you're treating me.
Oh, definitely. Now, another exciting part of the set for me was the Pookie.
Yeah, there was more talk.
Pookie.
More talk of Pookie this time around.
We kind of got into the Pookie stuff.
I feel like everybody knows Pookie except us at this point now. It's like based on like Haley's friends and her granny all know Pookie, and we still don't know who Pookie is.
Well, the thing is, her friends, I think, had a pretty tumultuous relationship with Pookie.
Yeah.
It seems like one of them blocked him.
Yeah.
Did I hear that incorrectly?
I think then they unblocked. I think it was just a momentary thing.
Do you think Pookie's kind of a troublemaker? I mean, Haley said her friend said they would see Haley on the phone with Pookie for hours crying and screaming.
Yeah, they'll have some bouts of rage and disappointment, but I don't know. Every relationship ebbs and flows, and there's just a pull and a push.
Is Haley too young to be committed to Pookie right now?
I mean, she has until 37 to really make that decision, according to Granny.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what they have going is still probably pretty full of love and trust and care for each other. And I think
is it though? I mean, do we have any updates on whether Pookie's actually taken her out to a date? Oh, actually. Going back to the first episode when we asked each other, is Taco Bell a date? I think we got our answer here.
Yeah.
Because Haley's favorite restaurant is...
Wait, this is an incredible catch. Yeah,
I don't know how I just thought of that. Yeah.
Wow, we're making breakthroughs on air right now.
That's almost actually why, again, I think this was the first app, and they just switched it because Whitney hopped on last minute.
Yeah.
Bumped it up.
But yeah, we see that Haley really does have a special place in her heart for Taco Bell.
She said she could eat at Taco Bell anytime, any place.
Yeah, she took Chelsea's Baja virginity in this episode. They all got Baja. I think they were the slushy versions of the Baja Blast.
Yeah.
But that was an exciting moment to see Haley connect with a brand like that, and we get that. We have that knowledge, the prior knowledge and confirmation now that Pookie does care about her.
And I think it was almost, now looking back, maybe her pulling over one on the audience when she's like, Pookie hasn't taken me out on a date. He just took me to Taco Bell. That's a little bit of an inside joke for anyone that knows Haley now.
Yeah.
Because for her, Taco Bell is like,
the best place to go.
That's romantic. And if you really know someone and what they're into, you don't have to take someone to a Michelin star place. You have to take them to a place where they feel like, dude, this is my heaven.
Yeah, a place that they cherish and hold close.
Yeah, and Taco Bell's great.
It is great. I mean, I love their deals and I love their combos. I mean, every time I check the app, it's some new product that they're selling, and it's exciting to see what they do with food.
Now, did we see Haley actually eating any food, or do you think she just likes the Baja Blasts? She wasn't eating a single taco.
That's true. I mean, I think the Baja is maybe the main attraction for her at Taco Bell. But
can you buy Baja Blast outside Taco Bell?
I think they started selling them as Mountain Dew. It was like they sell them in cans now.
Gotcha. Well, that was pretty exciting. And then, honestly,
the other thing we learned this episode is that Pookie met Chelsea. Or no, what am I saying?
Pookie.
I'm talking about Haley. Haley met Chelsea. by trying to get with Chelsea's brother Carson.
Yeah, I mean, Pookie, if you're watching this, maybe just skip ahead a few minutes down.
You don't want to hear this about Haliey's past, but Haliey had the hots for Carson.
Yeah.
She tried to get it on or just, meet with Chelsea's brother for some time. And yeah, Haliey didn't even know Chelsea before that. That was her introduction to Chelsea was through her brother Carson.
Yeah, and I mean, saying that everyone kind of passed him around,
Yeah, he apparently, he must be pretty attractive. They were all three friends on the couch. Or, well, not Chelsea wasn't saying that about her brother, but Alyssa and Carly were both in agreement that Carson he's probably pretty cute.
Well, look, here's the thing. I think Haley's the only person that could make that not weird for me.
What do you mean?
I think growing up with a friend group and maybe one of their siblings is attractive, that does weird me out a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a trope in movies, I feel like.
But Haliey, I think, is just, she kind of rolls into it with like this invincible kind of youthful energy of just like, who cares?
Yeah, if I him, who cares? Like,
give him the Hawk Tuah. Do we know if she gave him the Hawk Tuah?
If Carson was the first recipient of the Hawk Tuah, I'd be damned. Okay. I mean,
guys, let us know in the comments what you think.
Yeah, if you think maybe Carson was the first lucky guy, I mean, it's possible. But I don't know. Chelsea didn't seem bothered by it. She just thought it was kind of funny
and maybe they all never hooked up. I mean, maybe there's just a playful thing. So.
Yeah, I mean, they could have just hung out at school or whatever.
Yeah.
The other thing about school, Haliey announced that a run for class president. She said she went to a high school that had a tractor day.
Yeah.
Which I take it as a day where you bring in your tractor.
Yep.
And she said that her school also wouldn't give people anything. That they wouldn't even give students toilet paper to wipe their own ass on.
Yeah.
And her vow for class president was to, just refresh the toilet paper in the school, make something that you can comfortably wipe your ass on. And then she also said her motto or slogan.
She said Hawk Tuah on the
campaign.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think Haley's definitely... Obviously, she was joking about all this stuff.
About the toilet paper or tractor day?
No, I mean, I think about the idea of, like, seriously running for a political role. Like, she did it in high school. It was fun and games. I wouldn't be opposed to her seriously running. And I want to say that right now.
Okay.
Live on this. If she were to run for president, I think she'd have my vote. And this is why. I think she appeals to the rank and file voters of America. Because, listen, there's no class... I'll say this. There's no political party that appeals to the workers anymore. I think they've been sold out by the Democrats. I don't think Republicans really have workers' backs. And I think Haliey is someone that is very inclusive in the process of production. Think about it.
Yeah.
With the podcast, she shows everyone in the room.
Yeah. I think she's clearly an underdog. She's pretty anti-establishment in that she was the underdog in that interview show. She came through and just blazed her own path.
Yep.
Completely usurped them in fame and prestige. And now she's anti-establishment, doing podcasts her own way.
She is, and I think, the big thing is like she's taking on the Hollywood elite at such a young age, which I'd like to see how her career pans out because,
there's a lot of corruption in the Hollywood elite.
When's the last time we had a president from Nashville?
Yeah. Maybe Hoover? I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe it was Hoover.
I don't know. Yeah.
But, I mean, Tennessee needs some more representation, I feel like. And I think Haliey would be perfect to unify the country.
Do you think she'd run under a certain party? Do you think she'd fly her own banner? Even go an alternative third route? Do you think she'd run for maybe lower level first or just skip that, go right to president?
Yeah, I don't think she needs to waste time with they do have that dumb rule in place where you have to be 35 to run for president.
That's 2 years before marriage.
Yeah, that is. So she could knock this off her bucket list and then get married. But damn, I guess she does have a bit of a wait before she can apply or run for president.
Yeah. She'd be the first president with a fat cooter.
Yeah, we have yet to have one of those.
But that's what we need. We need a president that's actually going to speak their mind. And I have to say it too. Just I think there's a lot of conspiracies floating around in a post-pandemic America.
Yeah.
And we need someone that's going to look at these conspiracy theories right in the fucking eye and just say, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is not real. I'm not even going to give this any time of day.
Yeah. We need someone who's just dedicated to the truth and just spitting facts.
Yeah.
Which Haliey has proven to do reliably already in just the first 2 episodes.
And that would mean that Pookie would be the first
gentleman.
First gentleman, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Do you think Big Martha is actually an homage to Martha Washington, the original First Lady?
I never considered that.
I mean, maybe, yeah.
I was thinking of the mouse.
The mouse? Is there a Martha Mouse? Martha
Stuart Little.
Oh, is there a Martha Stewart or Martha Little?
I don't know. For some reason, I thought Stuart Little was named Martha or something.
Maybe.
No, his name was Stuart, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm mixing
And he had
it up.
the red car.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do think Haliey probably has some political aspirations just waiting to be awoken. And I'm excited to see how that might play out in the coming years.
I'm excited to see, too. I mean, this was a fun ep. Learning more about different characters in Haley's life.
Yeah.
Granny said it herself. She said Pookie's okay.
Yeah. Pookie is just fine with Granny.
Yeah, that's what it was. Just fine. Now, I want to end this ep by breaking down a false claim
Okay.
that we saw online
Yeah.
about Haley's past, saying that she worked as a substitute teacher.
Yeah.
That's not true.
That's
No.
true. Yeah.
And we ended the episode learning the truth.
Yeah. Pookie. Or why do I keep saying that? Not Pookie.
I
but
think
Haliey.
they're a little interchangeable.
Yeah, they are a bit interchangeable. That's just, they're two lovers in love. And I think that's beautiful. And I get excited and I jump the gun sometimes. But
You want them to get married.
yeah, I'm on Team Pookie. But are you not? Are you still on Team Rife?
I'm still on Team Matt Rife.
Dang.
I think, again, a celebrity couple's powerful.
I love the high school sweetheart kind of storyline.
I just think they could take it to the next level with Rife, man. I think her career would bounce. I think she'd really, really help out Matt, too.
There's always bound to be a disagreement on a show like this, and I think this is probably where we
could say
diverge.
Agree to disagree, but I don't know. I think I'm right.
Yeah, but this false claim that Haliey was a substitute teacher who got fired for her Talk Tuah comments.
Yep.
Seems to be a bit flimsy. I don't know if it's all that true.
Bogus. Why don't you just call it what it is and say it's bullshit?
It seems like bullshit because Haliey takes us to the spring factory that she worked at.
Spring Factory.
Yeah.
Where she put springs in boxes and just sat there.
Yeah. She said she hated it because she just had to sit there.
And again, I think this just adds to her credibility as maybe the first working class president since, I don't know, JFK.
Is she a working class podcaster?
I think so. I mean,
Yeah, a WCP.
She's not from Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
She's not a celebrity.
Yeah, she pulled up her
life got-
bootstraps.
Her life got thrown into this, and she's just dealing with it.
Yeah, and she's making the most of it.
Yeah. And I think she's not afraid to be a disruptor in the podcast industry. I don't think she'd be afraid to be a disruptor in the political
Of course not.
realm.
Do you think she could ever disrupt the industry of disruptors known as tech? Do you think she could ever make any breakthroughs into the tech industry?
See, this is where I struggle because she is on Paul's network, right?
Yeah.
So she clearly made a deal there. Now I want to know who her entertainment lawyer is.
Yeah.
How much she got paid, the royalties, how much of the show does she own? If you were to ask me, I'd say keep it independent always.
Yeah. You're
Just-
an indie kind of guy.
I think with podcasts, you got to own it.
Yeah.
You got to own your show, man.
Film right out of your apartment. Just keep it simple.
We're never selling this. And the reason why is because maybe people around her were like, take that money. It's a lot of money. Maybe she got offered a bunch up front.
Yeah.
The equity's going to run bigger over time.
Yeah.
She's going to make way more off that.
Yeah. This is just the capital principle.
I'm a little afraid that she kind of got stiffed by Paul.
Yeah.
I read somewhere that her net worth was $12 million. It's a fraction of what she's fucking worth, man. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, and she'll make it, though. She'll make it back.
In a free market?
She might have gotten scammed here, but I think she's going to hose them in the coming years. We'll see her just blow past them.
I would be interested to see if she would take on the big tech industry, though, of breaking up these private companies, or at least the fact that the internet is a public thing.
Yeah.
YouTube, Instagram, all that shit. It's public apps that people are on that are owned by a private handful of people. That's not fair.
Yeah. I'd love to see her develop something like the Tua app.
Yeah.
Some new like social media, like a new twist on just how we interact and engage with each other in the world.
What would that kind of look like to you? Like an ideal solution of breaking up big tech, maybe with their own app. What would that world look like?
I think just showing Instagram they can't be the boss anymore. Showing Meta that there's a new queen in town.
Yeah.
And I think that means like an app where you can talk about and rank all of the Hawk Tuahs you've received.
Mm-hmm.
Something about like interacting with people through the interface of sexual experiences.
Yeah.
Where you kind of just share your stories of being Hawk Tuah'd on and just ranking it and just having open discussions about sex,
Yeah.
because I do think that's
It's
an
important.
that's an important way to, talk about something that's so intimate and important to which is just about everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mean to single any group out, but
No, it's true, man. And you know what? I'm excited to see where she's going.
yeah, I mean she's Haliey's comet, I think,
She
shooting
is.
through the night sky.
Okay, so are we missing anything else? I think we pretty much got everything from the app.
Yeah, this was a jam-packed episode, but I think we knocked out every single bullet point that I had in my notes. I didn't even look at them.
I
we were
appreciate you
pretty well
taking notes
prepared.
this time. I took them last time on my little notepad.
It's a bit of a challenge because it's like I want to just be looking at and learning from these episodes, and instead I just kind of have to keep looking at my phone to write down these little fragments. Yeah, I mean we had she trashed Johnny Knoxville at one point.
I want to end on that.
Yeah,
She-
Haliey trashed. Wait,
Okay, so she said, have you ever seen the movie Bad Grandpa?
I haven't. Have you?
I took my grandma to see that.
That's ironic.
I didn't know what it was when I was a kid. We went, and then the whole time I was just sitting there feeling really like I couldn't breathe. My grandma, like old lady, was like, "What is this?"
You have a migraine?
I was just like embarrassed.
Yeah. I imagine like the air was just totally still in that room.
It was brutal, man.
Yeah.
But Haliey said that Bad Granny would be better than Bad Grandpa. Just
Yeah.
kind of dissing, throwing Knoxville one right in the lip.
Yeah. Johnny Knoxville, I mean, I grew up on the guy. I mean,
Sure.
I couldn't get enough of the Jackass trilogy. Or
Yeah.
what are they up to now? 4.5? 5?
I mean, they have not stopped.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. He has a legacy behind him.
Yeah. Haley's new on the scene and she's already taking some jabs. I don't know if that one was
And come
all
on,
that deserved. But
with Granny kind of showing up, not really giving us, I hate to say, the star power like Knoxville has, right?
yeah, I don't know if Granny has the juice. But
Yet.
yeah, not yet. I mean,
Yeah, I don't want to be too negative.
Granny could make future appearances.
Just
and-
based off what we saw, I'd like to see her back on the
Yeah.
show, and I'd maybe like to see her in.
in LA.
I'd love to see her in Beverly Hills. I'd like to see Granny trying an air one. I feel like that'd be really great.
That would be a great social moment.
Yeah.
I feel like they could really have a fun clip out of that.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, I think that's just about everything. So thank you guys for listening to Talk Tuah.
Yeah. This has been a blast so far. We're just 2 episodes in. I hope you'll join us next week where we break down episode 3 of Talk Tuah. And I hope you're following along with Talk Tuah as well. I mean, definitely watch that first and then check out our episode. We are the official companion podcast. We like to think that we're in dialogue with Haliey's podcast. And I think we just kind of elevate what happens on her show.
Absolutely. So make sure you're following Haliey and her Talk Tuah on all platforms.
Yep.
And then you can take a peek at what we're doing.
Yeah.
Okay? We're just reporting back to you guys. So we'll leave off by saying Hawk Tuah.
Spit on that thing.
See you guys.
Have a good week.